forget, y'all wanted this story time, right? Of why I don't go eat with bitches. So it's like I gave y'all the mini story time, which was that I hung out with these girls, went to an event or whatever, just supporting one of them, okay? Next day, we all got together, went to the dinner or whatever, and I told y'all how that dinner went, okay? So then from there, we went to the Club Van Dome. Okay, cool. Van Dome didn't work out because the nigga did not want to pay for that section by himself, even though he had 2 homeboys with him. I hate motherfucking homeboys that want to come out but don't want to put shit in when they homeboy would like you want to be around the bad bitches but you don't want to buy a bottle, you don't want to buy a hookah, nigga. But anyways, so from there, whatever, we end up getting in the truck, okay? The truck that I booked, the truck that I already paid for, with the security that I already paid for, right? There was not only a driver for the truck, the security was separate. Okay, cool. So from here, we're in the car, and like I say, this one girl that shows up, she ends up saying, hey, such and such is having a party, okay? Now, this person is somebody that we used to love back in the day. We still love him now. Hold on, still love him now. But he has had like scandals with not liking certain type of women in his section, I guess, or whatever. So anyways, the girl ends up saying, let's go here. He's having this party, whatever. I can't remember if it was Alvin Lee's party. I don't know. But anyways, we're like, yeah, cool, let's go. So she calls them. They say no because there was one girl that we were with, okay? So me, I'm pretty much trying to, y'all, I have to stop trying to be a mentor. I know that. I got to stop trying to breathe life into bitches and help them. But anyways, the one girl, even though they said that we couldn't go because the one girl, or they didn't say we couldn't go, but the reason why we could not go is because not all of us could go. There was one person that could not go. Okay? All right, cool. Understood. So the one girl who, party friend it was or whatever we were going to go with, she says, well, why don't we just sneak in? And if they make it a problem, then we'll leave. So me, I said, I'm not putting my face card on getting put out of a party because the next bitch you already know can't go. And I told her, I said, you shouldn't do that either because it's going to fuck your name up. And so she pretty much was like, I mean, at the end of the day, all they can do is make us leave. That's fucking embarrassing. Why would you want to go to a party with a very known artist and they already said no, this other girl could not come. She knows exactly why she can't come because she had lied on this person's name and, whatever. I think that's what it was. But pretty much she knew that he didn't like her. He knew, fuck no, okay? So I'm telling the girl who was trying to say, let's just go. I said, baby, you don't want to fuck up your face card because they're telling you that this person can't go. So in the middle of me saying that, letting her know, don't mess up your face card. We'll just find somewhere else to go. The girl who can't go, Liz, she ends up kind of having a little spat. You bitches stop fucking talking about me. I'm right here. Da, da, da. I said, baby, we ain't talking about you. You're right here. I'm letting her know. That's wrong. Don't go put your face card on the next bitch. Because you don't know, first of all, if the next bitch would ever do that for you. But also, you don't want to mess up your connections when they're telling you, no, you cannot do this. So anyways, when the girl's yelling whatever, I'm pretty much telling her, like, look, boo, at the end of the day, you the one who was lying. You the one that was doing this and that. And at the end of the day, we just can't go. It's not that big of a deal. We'll go somewhere else. She being dramatic and manipulative. Y'all can just go somewhere else, knowing we wasn't going to be no weird ass bitches and be like, okay, and drop her off and just go. I said, I'm never pressed to hang around no nigga. I was like, I got my own bread. We can go anywhere else. So I said, let's just go somewhere else. They're like, okay, cool. So we're headed to this next place, okay? When we're headed to this next place, it's also a place that Tiny used to work at, or still does, I don't know. But anyways, one of the girls, I think did I name her Brandy or Brooke? I don't know. But anyways, that character. So she's like, well, gorgeous, I just want to let you know that such and such might be here. I said, you ain't let me know a fuck thing. I said, I don't give a fuck. I said, if a bitch come up and want to say something, that's just what it's going to be. And so now me and Brooke are in the truck, okay? Driver, security. Me, Liz, someone else, and then in the back, the Brooke girl and the other girl that got invited last minute that wanted to go to the thing. So I'm telling her, like, no, I'm just letting you know, you're not telling me shit. So now me and her having a yelling match. She like, I'm just motherfucking saying because I want to have a good time. I said, okay, we can have a good time. But she also told me the day before that she knew her and that they used to be cool, right? But she had said, like, we ain't that cool. Like, she a little weird. She do weird shit, da da da. So I said, why the fuck do you think you warning me about a bitch? I said, if we go in here, we get this section, and we're enjoying our time. I said, I don't give a fuck if she talked to you. The bitch better not say a word to me. So now me and her in the truck yelling to the point, I swear to God on everything. I texted security and said, pull over and put these bitches out. I was that serious. Okay. So then Megan's like, y'all just chill. I think it's a lack of communication. So we pull up at the club, okay? We pull up at the club, and there were some baddies who pulled up. And I could say who it is, because we spoke. It was cool. It was DJ Sky and Krishan, okay? So we pulled up to the club or whatever. They had just pulled up a sprinter full of bitches, and they had some girls that I knew with them. So when they saw me in the black truck, because I had my window down, because, you know, I was kind of parking lot pimping, but I wasn't pimping. I was just looking out the window, okay? Some of the girls came up like, gorgeous, whatever, come in, like whatever. I could have went to their section, right? But no, we're in the car and we all decided we're boss ass bitches. We could break the section down. It's cool. I said, we could break the section down. I'm going to get 5,000 myself, okay? I'm going to get 5,000 myself. I think I had just had a drop for Actidose and I was celebrating my business, right? Okay, cool. So they're like, yeah, we good. It's cool. Whatever. We'll bust it all down. It's cool. So we go in. I talked to the promoter. He gives me the section for $1,500 with 2 bottles. Okay, so pretty much he's giving the section for free, but not really. He's making $1,000 and giving the $500 to the club for the bottles. Okay, cool. Probably giving the waitress like $100. I don't know. So we walk in or whatever. We walk in, he takes us to a section. Okay, cool. We go to the section. So when I get there, he's like, what do you need? I said, okay, I sent you $1,500. Bring us out these bottles. So this was the same night. Remember when I said that the promoter brought some niggas to the section and the niggas was drinking out the bottles or whatever? But then the promoter was on my ass about me getting my 5K, but you just brought a group of niggas to the section. And why is the niggas not ordering their money? Trying to say, they just trying to wait and see what you doing. How sassy are these niggas? What the fuck you mean you waiting for me to order money so you could order money on a section that you didn't pay for? So anyways, y'all remember I had smoked some weed that night. And remember I was a little, y'all, I cannot handle Cali Kush. That's all it was. But anyway, so when the promoter comes and gets me and we go to the back or whatever, security literally told me, and I could show y'all, I got the receipts. He was like, you were literally out of it. He was like, you don't need to smoke weed ever again. I was like, I definitely won't. But he was like, when I was entering my Zelle information, he was like, I could tell, literally you had smoked too much and you were fine until you hit that blunt. So then from there, as he saw me struggling to send my motherfucking money because I'm so damn high off weed, he was like, he told me, I think you should just go. I'm gonna go grab your friends. So then here comes Megan. Megan comes to the back because at this point, I'm sitting down in a chair drinking water because I'm high off the weed. Okay, cool. So Megan comes, she's like, what's going on? I already told you, we could break it down. I'm a paid bitch. She's doing this in front of the promoter. She's doing this in front of the promoter. I'm a paid bitch. We all agreed we was gonna bust it all down. We could bust everything down. Gorgeous said she was gonna spend, which it would have been 7,000. The 1,500 plus the 5,000, right? And then whatever else we needed to get, hookah, whatever. So she's saying big shit, popping big shit, right? And I'm like, no, bro, that's not it. I'm just ready to go, to be honest. And security's like, look, she ain't even in the, you gonna throw my money for me? Bitch, I'm sitting here and I smoked motherfucking Cali Kush off my ass. So what, I was gonna get 5,000, come out there and let niggas and some bitches throw my money, and I can't even throw my damn money? So security puts me in the truck, goes and grabs the girls. Okay, meet me at the next part. Okay, cool. Part 2. So at this point, I'm in the office. Megan comes back there and she's popping big shit, okay? And what I realized about Megan is that when Megan gets in front of certain people, she likes to pop big shit. But you know that y'all haven't even sent me no money for no driver, no nothing. So it's you back here popping shit for what reason? So then security told her, no, we're just gonna leave or whatever. And so she was like, if I need to send it, I can send it. I looked up, I said, send it then. Nothing. Okay, cool. So we end up, I end up going through the back door. He puts me in the truck, grabs the girls. At least I didn't leave you bitches. But this was the day that I told y'all the promoter went back out to the section and said, oh, Gorgeous didn't pay for the section or whatever. Somebody needs to repay for the section. Because what it really was, I did pay for the section. But he was trying to, do his little big one, which I do not give a fuck. But don't use my name and act like I didn't pay for what I was supposed to pay for to try to get more money out of people. Because he went up to the girls and the nigga that he brought in my section. Mind you, he said, I'm bringing these niggas in your section. They gonna spend a bag. They always spend a bag. Okay? But why are they waiting for me? Even when the nigga messaged me the next day, he literally said, I was just trying to see what you was going to do. I said, nigga, you ain't trying to see and wait for nothing that I'm doing, because a nigga that got to wait to see what I'm going to do ain't a nigga nothing like that. But also, it was kind of a lack of communication, because originally, he had messaged me hey, where'd you go? And I was like, I left it up, but I already posted my video talking shit. He was like, nah, somebody sent me your TikTok and da-da. I said, I'm not saying nothing bad except for the fact that the promoter literally told me that you were trying to see what I was going to spend. That's weird. I said, on top of that, I hit y'all's little weed, y'all Cali Kush or whatever, and I was off my ass. But I was like, it's cool though. Like, because when he messaged me, I messaged back being nice. Like, yeah, like, no, but we can run it back another day. I just was, high and I wasn't really in good company. But he was like, somebody sent me your TikTok already and I know how you feel. And I was like, no, but hey, fuck it, whatever. I don't care. I said, at the end of the day, he said, yeah, the promoter said you didn't pay for the section. I sent him the Zelle receipt. So what was this? I said, I did. I said, what he was trying to do is get more money out of somebody, which I do not knock the hustle. But don't go out there and tell everybody, oh, this section's freed up now. Somebody got to pay for it because she leaving. That's weird, right? Why you have to use my name when you could have just went out there and been like, hey, she paid $1,500 for these bottles, or he could have lied and said I paid $500 if you wanted to and told the nigga to repay or whatever, right? But no, he wanted to throw me under the bus. Okay, cool. So let me tell you what happened after that. So I end up getting in the truck, leaving. The girls come, we all leave, we disperse. Okay. Next day I wake up. Okay. The promoter had texted me like, make sure I got home or whatever. He cool people. He just pissed me the fuck off this one time. So anyways, I get on the phone. He like, yeah, that whack ass, fat face ass bitch. Da, 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 da. I'm like, yo, who? He's talking about Megan. Right? Because I guess he said Megan was back there popping it. He said it's so motherfucking crazy because she was popping shit. So he said the reason why he went out there and said that the section wasn't paid for is because Megan came back to him and said, oh, I'm a paid bitch. I got it. If I need to send it, I can. So he took that as, okay, if she leaves, then you can pay the full real price to keep this section. Because remember, I had already left. I sent security back in to get the girls. So they was back in the section, right? Okay, cool. So from there, whatever, I'm on the phone with him, okay? So when I'm on the phone with him, I three-way her in. I said, hold on a second. I three-way her in. I said, yeah, so what was said? Because she had pretty much tried to be like, yeah, girl, like, I didn't really care. I knew we was going to bust it down. It was no problem. I said, baby, it wasn't about the money. I said, I wasn't going to order $5,000 and be high off this weed and let you bitches throw my money from me. You bitch could get your own shit. I said, but also, they just bought a group of niggas in our shit. I said, that's weird. That's weird, right? Y'all, that's weird, right? Okay, cool. She was like, no, at the end of the day, it was the promoter. He came out there telling us that we had to repay for the section because you didn't pay for anything. So I said, well, hold on one second. I said, mute yourself. Click the call back in. I said, so what happened to the promoter? He was like, nah, like you paid your $1,500. That's cool. But when you was leaving, like, oh, girl, she was popping it as if she didn't mind to pay for the real price of the section. He said, I gave you the section for $1,500 because you're my people. I said, okay, cool, because now I'm understanding it a little bit more. Still, I don't like that you go out there and you throw my name under the bus. Like, I didn't pay you $1,500, but I understand somebody coming and popping it on you, acting like they this girl and got all this money, and then you go out there and check the temperature, thinking that I'm leaving and they staying, and they just look like lost dogs. So for me, what I chopped it up to is that the promoter was doing his job, which is to promote and make as much money on these sections as he fucking can. Okay, cool. But you didn't have to fake throw my name under the bus. Because even when I sent my Zelle receipt to the nigga was like, man, I don't know. Yeah, you don't know. But at the end of the day, you came into the club. He put you in my section. I'd already had 2 bottles. So then why is he coming and grabbing me to come get me? So it's in a rush for me to get this $5,000 when you just walked in the club and haven't ordered anything yet. You get what I'm saying? So me and the dude, we ended up talking through it. It's no pressure or anything. But I was irritated with the promoter. But I was also irritated with the girls. Because guess what? We're at the next day. Okay? I had ended up spending like $3,000, okay? Between the section, between security and the driver. So I take off the security fee. And I send them how much we had spent. And so it was like $2,000. But like, it was a little one. It was like $1,800, something like that, I think. But divided, it would have been $400, $500 a girl. Okay? Even if that. I send it. I get on the phone with one of the girls, with Megan. I'm like, yeah, so I'm about to send this to, well, before I sent it, I said, I'm about to send this to the group message. This is how much was spent, da-da-da. She's like, yeah, girl, put it in the group message. So I'm like, okay, cool. She was like, I got you. I'm going to send the money in a little bit. I'm like, okay, cool. So I send how much it is in the group message. Then I get a text from the makeup artist from the night before. She's like, hey, that girl's makeup that I did you tell her how much it was? I said, no, baby, I sent her like your link, I think. I told her that it was $100 for her to get her hair straightened, but I sent her your link. She was like, oh, well, she sent me some money, but it wasn't with my travel fee included. I said, well, babe, you came to do something for me and you didn't say that. So that was a lack of communication, right? But I said, I'll hit her up though. But still, if she decides to not send the travel fee, it was kind of a lack of communication on your end. So I told Megan, like, hey, so this is whatever. She's like, okay, I'm doing something. I'm going to the post office. I got to make it before 5. I'll call you back. Okay, cool. I put the message in the group message, okay? Nobody sent me any money. The day before, the one girl, when we said that the truck was going to be like $100 an hour, divided by 5 girls at this point, I think one of them sent me like $60, $100 or something like that on Cash App, right? But the next day, y'all, I sent the tab, told them how much it was. Nobody said shit after 2 or 3 hours. So I blocked everybody. I blocked them all. night, okay? I had a time last night to where I literally, y'all, I had a time, okay? Just don't had a time. Came home, I'm just not taking my makeup off. That's the type of time I had, okay? Fell asleep on my couch, walked in my house, dropped my bag, passed out. Like, one thing is I don't need to be smoking nobody else's ganja, okay? Because whatever the fuck I experienced last night was some shit I ain't never experienced, okay? We ended up going out, right? We ended up going out, and that's fine. We pull up to this club or whatever, buy a section, buy bottles, whatever. So my plan was to go out, order like 5,000 at once, and the bottles or whatever. I was celebrating active doll. You get what I'm saying? So I'm sitting in a section, I'm chilling, and then like this dude is like, oh, these dudes want to come to the section or whatever. I was like, as long as they spending money, I don't give a fuck, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like I've already paid for the section, I already paid for the bottles, but it's like the dude gave me like a discount on the section as well. You get what I'm saying? So I paid $1,500. So I pretty much gave like 1,000 to the club, I guess, and just got 2 bottles. When in reality, I should have only had to pay for the motherfucking 2 bottles. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'm not arguing about shit. I want to be by myself. Because when we first walked in, they tried to put us in a section with like a half a section, and I was like, do I look like the type of bitch that shares a section? Change this. So they put us in like the bigger section, and we was cool. So we in a section, we cool, okay, whatever. So my thing is my plan, like I said, was to order the 2 bottles of Don Julio and get 5,000 once, okay? I have 5 girls with me, so it's gonna give them all 1,000. We was gonna throw it, have fun, okay? So I'm sitting in the section, and so then the dude, he brings in some niggas, right? He like, yeah, these niggas, they spend a bag, they cool, da-da-da. So in my head, what's that tell me? I already paid for the section, paid for the bottles, these niggas should be getting the ones, right? Right, okay, cool. So I'm sitting there, I'm chilling, whatever. They smoking or whatever. One of the dudes rolled me up a blunt. Worst motherfucking decision of my life. Okay? Don't ever let no nigga in Miami roll you a blunt. Okay? Me, I'm like, okay, this will offset some of the liquor. Because I've been drinking since glam. So I was like, Courtney, you've been drinking since 8 o'clock. You can smoke a little weed, offset it, don't drink no more. You get what I'm saying? Okay, cool. So that's what I start doing. I start hitting the blunt. Okay, cool. I'm chilling. Something fucking happened. Okay? I don't know what it was, but when I tell you I'm like this. So anyways, the dude that had gave me the section, he comes up, he was like, hey, you ready to order your money? So me, not thinking like, damn, why these niggas in my section, but I'm about to go order money. Right? So I was like, yeah, I'm ready to order money or whatever. I get up, security's taking me to the back to order my money. I'm sitting there, and I love my security guard, bro. Shout out to you. Because he saw that something was, like, off with my body. And you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm just, like, he's having to really, like, make sure I don't stumble. And I'm a good walker of heels, you know? But anyway, so while we're walking to the office, I'm like, what the niggas is ordering? He like, oh, yeah, he gonna match what you get. He was like, he gonna match your 5. I said, so what he getting? He getting 5? So then I'm like, I don't need to match no nigga. A nigga get the fuck out of my section. I'll throw my own money. Like, tell the nigga to get the fuck up. You get what I'm saying? I'll throw my own money. Tell the nigga he gotta go, you know? I was like, if I gotta match with a nigga, I'm not matching with a nigga. Like, these niggas were able to come in my section because you said they spend money. Right? Okay, cool. So we go to the back office or whatever. I'm sitting there, and I literally am sitting at this chair, but it's like I keep dozing. I'm typing on my phone to send money, and I'm dozing to the point that, like, one of the people are like, you want me to help you? They're, like, pushing my phone and my motherfucking bank account. So my security guard is like, hey, back up. Security was like, hey, like, we need to go. You, I don't know what he said. You shouldn't have smoked. He said, whatever you was smoking, he was like, you've been good all night. So the security guard loved him to death. Oh, my God. Because he was right. Like, I was sitting there like, okay, I'm sitting here typing one letter, dozing off, okay? I don't know what the fuck they rolled in that blunt, but never again will I smoke with any motherfucking body in Miami because, y'all, I just woke up. Full face still on. I had my jewelry on. I had the same clothes on. Everything. I've never been in that like type of headspace. You get what I'm saying? So as I'm in the office, my security guard's like, "Yeah, no, you don't need to order nothing. Like, come on, we going. We about to leave." I'm like, "Okay, well, make sure you go get my homegirls, like, because I had 4 girls with me. So I'm like, make sure you go get them." So then the dude's like, "Okay, go ahead, you can go, whatever." So I get up, I start walking out the office, and I said, "Hold on, I need to sit down." Like, I need to sit down. And so I sit down, y'all. When I sit down, I promise you, dead body. Literally passed out in this office. And security, thank God that I had trusted security. He ends up calling the truck around back to pick me up, and then he makes sure we circled around the club. He made sure to get my homegirls too. Told them, like, hey, something's going on with G-Doll. It's time to go, right? So me, now that I'm waking up and I'm thinking about the whole motherfucking night, don't ever smoke a blunt with no Miami nigga, okay? I don't know what they roll in their weed. I don't know what the motherfucking plan was. I don't know anything about that, right? But that weed, y'all, it's not normal. But also, right? What's up with these motherfucking niggas thinking that you could party on a bitch dime for free? That's what I'm confused. Because my thing about it is this, right? I just got off the phone with like some of the girls I was with. I said, you know what's so funny? I said is, he bought them niggas in section. Okay, cool, whatever. Them niggas didn't have to order no motherfucking liquor. But my thing about it is, for me to be told, oh, he gonna match you. What type of nigga comes in a club, sits in a bitch section, and matches her? No, nigga, I pay for the section. You need to get the ones or get the fuck out. You get what I'm saying? But by the grace of God, whatever the fuck blunt they rolled or whatever, had me too motherfucking out of it anyways. So I didn't get to finish my full night. I had to go. But it really like irritated me now that I woke up and think about it, because I'd be cool like with a lot of people in the club. I'd be cool with them. But it's like with that, like from the nigga point of view, the thing about it is like they were trying to get me to order my money so that the nigga would order his. You get what I'm saying? When it's like, no, this nigga should be ordering motherfucking money, and then if I want to order money after that, I can. You know what I'm saying? Because that opens the door for, okay, you're doing something for this section. You know what I'm saying? Because the nigga didn't pay for nothing in the section. And just because, like, niggas got a name or something like that, they be thinking shit like that is cool. No, bitch. I know I got money, but my money is for me and whoever the fuck I got with me that I want to make sure having a good time. But, y'all, when I tell you, I was out of it. I was out of it. But I met DJ Sky last night and Krishan. Loved them. Sweet ass bitches. Love them a lot. But yeah, y'all, I had a crazy night. Then I'm gonna do a separate video removing my makeup and talking about this motherfucking hairstyle. Okay? Cause you're watching a man live his last days. You know? Yeah, you're watching the reaction of fucking over a Libra. You know, like, nothing you do will prosper type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that lady say on what is it? Tina Turner? Is that what movie it was? Yeah, that's what movie it was. Anyways, listen, my God don't play about me. And we know that. God don't play about me. Okay? God don't play about me. God always circles back and gets karma for me. And one thing about it is we're watching it in front of everybody's fucking eyes. It's crazy. But also, part of me is like, y'all, leave him alone. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Okay? He's going through a lot. Okay? He's going through a lot. Of bitches. Anyways, yeah. I see all the comments.
Then there's another story time I can tell you, because Liz is a messy, weird bitch. I don't want to beef with Liz online, but she did some weird ass shit, bro. Some weird ass shit. So let's make this part 3. So anyways, when I first met Liz, now we're going back. Day 1 that I met Liz, which was at this little event that Megan was throwing. Liz says she talks to this rapper dude whose video I was in recently. Okay, cool. So I'm like, yeah, he cool people, whatever. Yeah, we just cool people. We ain't never fuck, touch, nothing. Okay? She like, yeah, that's my baby daddy. And I'm like, okay, that could be whatever the fuck you want him to be. But I'm like, yeah, he cool people. He hit me up on a baby in the video, whatever. And he's, supported active dolls. So I was like, that's really all that I know about him. Just met him. So she's like, yeah, that's my man. So I'm okay, cool. Y'all meet me at the next part. Okay, so part 3. So anyway, she's telling me that's her man, whatever. I'm like, cool, because I don't got nothing going on with the nigga. He cool people. That's it. Okay? So y'all remember the day that I told y'all one of my friends called me and said, hey, this YouTuber wants a pretty black girl, and I thought of you, of course. So go meet him. He's about to buy you a watch. No strings attached, no nothing. This is my homeboy. We used to beef back in the day. He called me. He needs some girls. Gee, I need you to please pull up for me. I said, really? He said, yeah, I need you to be there in an hour. I said, are you serious? I said, do not play with me. I said, if I pull up here and it ain't no motherfucking watch where I'm going, I'm gonna fuck you up. He like, nah, I got you, I promise. He said, I promise. He tells me who it is. I said, okay, cool. I get dressed, okay? He puts me and the YouTuber in a group message. I go pull up on him. Everything goes as planned. Literally pulled up, we took some shots, went to the jewelry, got the watch, I went to the club, then I got the fuck on. You can see the video, okay? There's a YouTube video of this whole thing, okay? I just went to go play wingman. It was actually fun. So anyways, 2 days later, I guess it's Liz's birthday, okay? And at this point, it's no pressure, as in I blocked them bitches' phone numbers, but I didn't block them off social media because it's just like, I don't give a fuck that much. I'll just block you bitches because I knew I'd never use your number again. So, anyways, this rapper that's her baby daddy, she called my phone. Not she called my phone. He called my phone. Yo, you see that shit on Twitter? I'm like, no, I don't be on fucking Twitter. He was like, bro, why Liz just post a clip of me walking at her house saying she gonna post us on Twitter? I said, wait, did she post the video? He's like, yeah, she posted a video clip of them in her house. And I said, what the fuck they gotta do with me? He like, she think I really bought that watch for you. I said, oh my God. She was like, he was like, yeah, bro, like it's so fucking weird. I said, well, I videoed the whole thing. Everybody knows that the YouTuber bought me that watch. He's like, nah, it's her birthday. I didn't get her shit for her fucking birthday. I said, well, get her something for her birthday. He said, no. I said, oh, okay, all right. I said, well, I mean, I can understand how a bitch would be mad. I said, but at the end of the day, it's a clear vlog of me going and getting that watch with this YouTuber. So she was like, he was like, yeah, she's saying how she in Turks with grandpa, and he pretty much, that's when I knew it was some messy ass shit and bitches was lying. Because she done told the rapper, I'm in motherfucking Turks and I'm with grandpa. I'm not gonna say his name, but tell me why he's sitting there talking about some, oh, your nigga bought another bitch, my old bitch, a watch. I said, ain't no motherfucking way. I said, he might be weird and old, but he ain't, first of all, in Turks. And second of all, he ain't saying no shit like that to a bitch. I know this man. And I was like, she's lying. She was like, I mean, he was like, well, anyways, at the end of the day, she done posted me and her on Twitter telling people to follow her OF for the link. I said, so she's doing all of this because she thinks you bought me a watch that has a clear vlog from start to finish of who bought it. He was like, yeah. So me, I'm like, well, at the end of the day, like, why is my name being brought up in anything, especially with Gramps? I said, that's weird as fuck. I said, that's messy, weird shit. I said, at the end of the day, I said, I'm gonna just hit her up and tell her to keep my name out her mouth. Which I did. I hit her up. Why the fuck you got my name in your mouth with some weird ass shit? I said, I don't got shit to do with you. No, nigga, nothing. I told you me and that nigga was friends. I said, you're just fishing. I said, but there's a full vlog. You can go watch it where the watch came from. She's like, I can think whatever. I gotta pull up the screenshots. I can't remember off the top of the dome exactly what she said, but it pretty much was she gonna say whatever the fuck she wanna say. And I was like, look, bitch, at the end of the day, you're fishing. You're fishing because you think that on your birthday, this man that you say is your baby daddy bought me this watch. I said, sweetheart, that's not how it went. I said, it was very innocent. I pulled up on a friend, right, of his who wanted me to just come do this cute video. That's it, that's all. So of course, like she, I guess, was still blowing up his phone, talking shit about me, all types of shit. And I literally in my head was like, that's so fucking weird because a bitch will have a full vlog front to finish where something came from for me and still accuse the next nigga. But not only did you accuse the next nigga, but then you bring in a nigga that don't got shit to do with nothing. Because what the fuck do you get out of saying that you was in Turks with Gramps and that he was talking all this shit about me? Mind you, he wasn't in Turks. I made sure. But it's like, I just realized, like, bitch, you're messy, you're weird. And my thing is that when I first went around this girl, a lot of people were like, no, gorgeous, no. And I was like, y'all, I meet people for myself. I don't judge people off the internet. I don't, because I know how it feels to be judged off the internet. But it's like, she really was weird and messy. When you met me, I told you I ain't never touched nothing on that nigga. But then there's a full vlog front to back of where this watch came from. But because he didn't get you shit for your birthday, you are now pestering him, posting revenge on Twitter of him because you think something. Then to throw in that you was with this other man that has nothing to do with none of this just to try to get a reaction out of me was crazy. But yeah, I pretty much told her, like, keep my motherfucking name out your mouth. You're weird. And then it's so funny because there was a clip on this page of Squiddy on live. So then Liz commenting and Squiddy's live talking about something. You should come on my podcast. Girl, the girl just said you give up free coochie. She literally just said you a free coochie ass bitch. She said the same about me, but we know that's a lie. But she literally just said that about you, and now you're on her shit. That's why I say bitches is weird. But anyways, that's what happened between me and them bitches that y'all saw me out with a couple months ago, and we went to the little dinner or whatever. And I really thought, listen, I thought that I didn't think shit, y'all. I knew some weird shit was gonna happen, but it was me just trying to go outside and have me a good little time, okay? Because I don't need a nigga for shit. I'm around some bitches that play like they got that shit, like they boss bitches, but then I realized that I'm with a bunch of bitches who only do shit for the internet, okay? Not in real life, outside of the internet. Because it's like, even with Megan, right? I liked Megan because Megan was kind of, in my opinion, she related to me because people still will play with you even though you have good intentions. When Megan threw this little watch party or whatever, she really was like, the first party she paid for, all her own dime. She was just trying to be petty, the Megan show, right? She was just trying to be petty. So then they asked her to do the party again, but they wanted her to invite some of the actual castmates. So with me, I told her, like, babe, I'm not coming to sit around a bunch of bitches I don't like. I came to support you. So I probably won't be coming today too. So she was like, no, you should come. Because really what it was is they saw you put together an event and it had me attached to it, which brings in tension, motion, whatever. And so then they told her to do it again, and they paid for the whole thing the second day, right? And then I didn't show up. So when I didn't show up that second day to the second part two, there was already weird energy between us, but I thought that it would dissolve by us just going to dinner and not giving a fuck. But at the end of the day, I didn't go to part two. And that's really when all that weird ass energy started, because what I realized is that I'm just trying to be supportive to a fellow female, but you're trying to use me. Because you know me coming to this event for you is going to piss off the other people on the other side. But when you couldn't bring me, because pretty much she was like, I'm trying to get them to give me my own show. And at the end of the day, like, I really think they will. The owner's going to pay for the second party. I really think he'll give me my own show, because the theme was the Megan show. And I was like, babe, they're just using you because they know it's going to piss off those other girls into talking shit. You being around me, the most hated of the damn class, they're using you. But she didn't want to hear that. She really thought that they would give her own show. Now I don't know what happened, but yeah, at the end of the day, that's what happened with that, y'all. And bitches are weird. I don't know.